Hi guys, John with you again, and it's time now to start getting this kit painted. I am of course referring to the ITALERI 138 5th scale M4A1 Sherman. Okay, this kit here. Okay, that's the old boxing of it. Kit is still available these days, but it's in a different box. But it's basically the same kit. They just reboxed it. In the last video, build update number 1, I got the kit built. So now it's time to get it painted. So when we go down to the bench now in a sec, I'll show you what I've done. I've it all sort of ready for painting. In a way, you could say I kind of started it in the build update, or when I was building it, because I used sort of a Mr. Surfacer on it, and I'm after giving it a kind of a texture. Okay, so it kind of looks awkward now when we go down to the bench. You can see it, but once the base coat is down and all that, we'll see that the texture now will work. Fingers crossed. Usually does anyway. That Mr. Surfacer 500 is absolutely fabulous stuff. I'd recommend it to anybody. Handy little product in the arsenal. And you know me, I don't really go for products much, but this one is it's one of those little essentials, especially for some kits, because there's no texture on them, they're too smooth. You go painting and then you can sort of see the smoothness on them, and especially for, say, a lot of World War II armour, that cast texture was on quite a lot of them. You know, the rolled steel and all that kind of stuff. So we want to get that kind of effect, and Mr. Surfacer is absolutely fabulous for that. So let's go down to the bench. We'll have a look at all the little bits and pieces that I've got ready for painting, and we'll start getting it painted. Okay. Okay, so here we are at the bench, and like you can see, I have everything all ready for painting. Well, for the first part of the painting anyway. This is the colour I'm going to use, XF69. Okay, we get that there. XF69 NATO black. Okay, I use the black and white technique as demonstrated really by and I think we'll even go invented. I'm not sure whether he did or not, but Andy's Hobby Headquarters, that's where I started first seeing it, and I've used it on quite a lot of models now at this point in time. And anytime you're going for sort of a monochrome model, it is ideal. It really is, because it gets to show a little bit of variation, and it depends on how well or how thick you put on your base coat. Then you can see the effects through it. Okay, so I've got the tracks here. Okay, and I will be doing I will be showing how I weather these tracks to make them look rubber and metal. Okay, do start off with the NATO black base. Somebody asked me would I do a video on weathering tracks. Now these aren't the ideal ones to do them on. Something like a tiger now or something else would be ideal, but I will be doing another. I have a tiger in the stash, and I will be doing it very soon. So you never know, I might do another one on the tiger tracks, but I will be including one on this one on the Sherman tracks. Okay, where it's got the sort of the mixture of the rubber and the metal. Okay, right, we've got our turret ready to go. Right, aerial, the whole lot, all ready to go. We've got the idler wheels. Right, we've got the little 50 cal ready to go, and we've got the body of the vehicle as well. Okay, so first step anyway, we're going to give it everything a coat of NATO black. When that's done, we'll come back, we'll have a quick look at it, and we'll move on then. And you can see then with the NATO black, what it does is any defects will show. So where you've got sort of needs an extra little bit of sanding, that's the time then to do it. It for some weird reason, it just really shows up any flaws that might be there. So I'll go ahead and I'll get that done. When it's dry, then we'll come back, we'll have a look at it, and we'll see how all that worked out. Okay, if there's any further sanding or anything like that to be done. Okay, so I'm after getting the black down. Okay, the NATO black is now been sprayed and it is dry. Okay, now hopefully you can get to see the texture on that. See it? See that little dimpling and things like that? That's what cast steel looks like. Okay, it's got all that kind of dimpling and imperfections in it. So that's what that Mr. Surfacer does when it's all down and neat. Now I'm after going over this, and I'm quite happy with that. There's no places that need sanding. There was one little spot just here, but I'm after sanding that down now. That's grand. It was just what it was. I think it might have been a bit of dust actually that got there, because it was just a tiniest little lump. But I cleaned it off anyway, and happy enough with that. Okay, same with the turret. I had no problems with the turret. As in, nothing showed up. You know, I'm happy with it. The join, the transitions between the two pieces. Okay, there's the join mark there. You can see it, but it's on an actual angle anyway. So the fact that you can see it, you're meant to see it, shall we say? So I'm not worried about that. Tracks then are done inside and out. Okay, all done with the NATO black. Now, so the tracks can be put away onto the next stage for the tracks. So now with the and same with these, with the return rollers. Not the return roller, but the idler wheel and the machine gun. I won't be working on them now for a little while. Anyway, next step, I'll be using XF1 flat white, and I'll be highlighting areas. That big white area there, I'll be highlighting that. Little sections here and there. Okay, any panels and things like that. Now there isn't very many panels on that, but areas that would be lighter or darker. That, and that would be that's all then the pre-shading for moving forward and getting the because it's only going to be one colour. It's going to be just plain green. The green I'm going to use is NATO green. I like using the NATO green because it's a nice light in between colour. It's not too light, but it's not too dark. And if you have it too dark and then you're giving it a wash and things like that, all it'll do is keep darkening it down. So by having it sort of midway between the two, you can darken it if you want it darker, or excuse me, you can't lighten it, but you can. It's light. It's lighter than the actual color. So when the wash goes down, it will darken it, but won't make it too dark. That's what I was trying to say. Yeah. So next step now is get the white down, and I'm going to show you where I did the white. So the next time you see this, it'll be sort of black and white, kind of like a panda. Okay, so I'll get that done and come back then. We'll have a look at that and we can discuss that. Now there, as you can see, it's been pandasized. Yep, pandasized as in it's got black and white. Kind of looks like a panda. I know it's stupid. Anyway, we've got the black and white technique done. Remember, the base coat was NATO black, and we're after doing the highlights with XF2 flat white. Now for our main colour, okay, and for that I'm going to use this XF67. There we go, NATO green. And as you may have noticed, I use Tamiya paints, and XF67 is NATO green, and that's the colour I'm going to use for my base colour, my main colour for the tank. Okay, so I'm going to get that sprayed in. And that's dried on, then we'll have a look at that. We'll move on then to the detail painting. You know, the machine guns, as in the shooty things, the big shooty thing stays the colour it is, as in NATO, the NATO green. We've got the antenna to be painted separately. We've got all the tools and equipment. They've all got to be done different colours. Okay, so I'll get that done. We'll have a look at that, see how it all turns out. And while that's sort of done, then we'll be going on to the tracks and everything else. So, NATO green, next colour, let's get it done. Alright, and there I'm after getting the green down now, NATO green, and as you can see, it's got, you know, the light patches, the darker patches, and all that, and that's all down to the pre-shading with the black and white technique there. Okay, so when you're painting on the green, just light coats. You don't go over it, it'll build up really slow. If you try to do it too fast, what will happen is you'll kind of overpower it in green, and then you've got the whole thing just the one shade, which is, you know, it ends up being a waste of paint. Not a waste of paint of the green, but definitely a waste of paint of that whole black and white that you're after doing. So by doing it this way, let it build up nice and slow and get it to where you want it. Or what you want to do is literally just stop when you can see no more white and it just kind of blends into the green and it kind of blends down a bit. You stop at that, then you'll end up with something similar to that. You know, light patches and dark patches. You know, nothing too drastic. You don't want it too drastic, then it looks false. But by keeping it nice and, you know, nice light coats, you build up and work out quite nice. So next thing though, we're on with a hairy stick, and we're going to get the details, smaller details painted. Okay, smaller details we have here on this. Now we've got the shooty thing. Okay, we've got our lights, so we've got the bit of silver there on the lights. We've got our tools, so we've got the shovel. So we've got the head of the shovel, and we've also got the wood parts of the shovel. We've got our tanker's bar. Okay. We've got a sledgehammer. There's an axe, pickaxe head. We've got another big long bar, and we've got the head then, or the handle then for the pickaxe. We've got the spare track pads. Okay, and we've also got the rubber black to do on the wheels. On the main, on the turret, right, we've just got the aerial really. Yeah, we just have the aerial, that's all we have in that. And then on the machine gun, then on the 50 cal, we've got the it's NATO black is the colour, the main colour that I've used on it, right? So we've got a small bit of wood here on the handles. The jerry, or the ammo box, then would be in olive drab. Okay, or you can use the green again for that. And we've got another little bit there on a handle again. Okay, it's the handle on the barrel. It's the removing handle. What happens is that swings up and pops off. Right, so I'll get on now with the detail painting. I'll get that done. I'll come back then. We'll have a look at this, the detail painting done on that. Then you'll get a gloss coat, and then I can move on and get the tracks done. Now, with the tracks done, I've already base coated with the NATO black, and when I move on to the tracks, I'll show you exactly how I do the tracks. Okay, I just use the NATO black as a base coat, and then I start adding up a couple of other little bits and pieces. So we'll have a look at how I do that in a minute. So I get the detail painting done on this, then we'll come back and have a look at that, and we'll move along. Okay, we'll get there slowly but surely. Isn't that it? No rush. Nobody's in a rush. Okay, so there we go, and I have the detail painting done. Okay, there's all our tools. Right, tools are done. The black is done. The rubber black there is done on the tires. Well, we call them tires. They're the wheels with the thing. Ignore all the noise in the background. There's people just going mental. And we have the spare track pads. Okay, they're all done as well now with the rubber black. Okay, so machine gun at the front. We have the lights. They're done. Well, even it looks as if they're shining back at you. And I've got the tips and the insides of them done there as well, with silver, where the paint would have been worn off and all that. Okay. On the turret then, all I've done is basically the area itself, right? Okay. So, oh yeah, and I've done the 50 cal as well. Okay, there's a close-up of the 50 cal. Right. So the wooden handles, the green then on the mounting bracket, and also on the ammo box. Right. That's when they're all weathered in. That's when they you know, they look better then. But the base colours are down. So what do I do next? Next anyway for this basically is a gloss coat. Okay, get that gloss coated and I'll leave it aside for maybe a day or two. The reason is it gives the chance for the gloss coat to really cure. Okay, so next step now is the tracks. Right. Now what I do to the tracks, believe it or not, is I start spraying them in brown. Right. I find that red, brown, and a light overspray then of a lighter brown, and even an overspray then of the buff. Okay, so kind of a heavyish spray of the red brown, lighter spray of a lighter brown, and the buff. And what that'll do is then is when you paint over the black bits, then that will look like the sides and all that will be nicely rusty-ish looking. For some weird reason, I find that on vinyl tracks, pigments don't really tend to stay too well on them. Whether the pigments just don't like them, and you know, whatever, I don't know, or the pigments just don't like me. Okay, I've tried different types of pigments, everything from using chalk pastels, which is a pigment I do like because they're cheap, and I've also used ordinary pigments. I got a kind of a pigment set there that worked fabulous. I must try and get my hands on another one. It's a Revell one. Came with a little box with six little tubs of pigments. It was brilliant. And I've also got I think it's an Alclad. Yeah, an Alclad Warpigs pigment, a rust pigment. But I never really liked the colour of it. Okay, never really liked the colour of it. Not unless you've kind of got a base colour already down, then it just adds a little bit of extra variation to it. But as a pigment, as a rust pigment in its own right, I don't like it at all. So next step now, like I said, is to get the body of the tank and the turret of the tank glass coated. Leave that dry for a day or two. Just let it to sort of cure in, and then I will be doing the decals on that. But in the meantime, I will get the tracks done. It's literally a lot of hand painting, as in all these little track pads. Once all that's done, go over all those track pads with the rubber black to make them all black again. So like I said, it's just a bit of step by step, and we get there eventually. And you'll see what I mean when I have them done, and I'll explain to you again how I did them, and you know, to what extent they were done. So next step now is to like I said, glass coat and painting of the tracks. Okay, now it has been glass coated. Okay, glass coat is on. For the glass coat, this is what I used. Okay, It's ALC 660 Aquaglass from Alclad 2. Okay, that's the glass coat I use. It's a nice milky substance. Excellent glass coat, as you can see. Really is. Beautiful finish on that. And that's only just one coat, and normally, like with the Tamiya one, you'd have to give it 2 or 3 coats to get a nice finish like that. You can also see the effects there, both of the black and white technique, and also from the use of the Mr. Surfacer, whereas after giving it a nice that cast texture, it looks so much better now. It's so much easier to see as well once it's all been painted up and things. But you can see that texture now that that Mr. Surfacer puts on, because that was pure smooth, baby soft, like a baby's bottom. But now it's got all that nice texture to it. Okay, so there's the main body of the tank. The detail painting is all done as well. Okay, detail painting, I used, where are we? Oops. On the shovel, metal parts of the shovel, I used NATO black. On the wood here, this is what I used for the wood. Okay, it's a Citadel colour. It's just base XV88. I have that for ages, and it's the first time I've actually used it for wood, and I think it's an absolutely excellent colour for that. But for all the metal parts I used NATO black, rubber black on the wheels. Okay, that's that. Here's our turret. Same idea again. We've got that nice cast texture on it. Pity it doesn't have the cast marks here. It's really only on kind of later kits that they started doing that. But you know, it is what it is, and you got to kind of make the best of it. It's not on it, and you know, unless you actually know that it's supposed to be there, then you know, it's not there. Simple as that. Okay, also we have the tracks are done. Okay, I used NATO brown as a base colour. Well, I used sort of NATO black first, right? Base coated them in NATO black. Then I give them a NATO brown. Then a overspray, you know, not a complete coverage of red brown. I mean, sort of with the two, one overlapping the other, with the other one, with the red brown being kind of slightly lighter and sort of go around it a bit faster. In my opinion, it looks like rust. Okay, I might be wrong, but I think it looks like rust anyway. And then we've got the rubber black down the centre, and then in the centre, in here, I used NATO black. All I got to do now to these is just to kind of make them look metallic-y. Okay, and for that I'm going to use my graphite pencil. Okay, it's a HB. I have a 2B there as well. I might even use the 2B, it's a bit darker. And all I got to do is literally go around it and rub all the raised bits with that. And as you can see, that will kind of give that metallic look to it. Okay, so just a tiny little bit of finishing off done to do to them. So I'm all ready now for the decals on this, because this has been drying now. It's had about a day and a half of drying, so it's well cured. I've got my decals here all nicely cut out and ready to go. Okay, I've got stars for either side of it, my star for the front. We've got sort of tactical marks, I presume they're is what they are. These ones there, I presume they're tactical marks, I'm not 100% sure. We've got the tank's serial number. Okay, right there at the back. So we've got a turret marking, B15. We've got a name, Bunny. Okay, one for either side. And we've got the B15 again then. Okay, which is probably the unit designation of the actual tank itself. You know, not necessarily the serial number of the tank, but the unit number for the tank will probably be its call sign as well. So it's probably Bravo 15 would be that tank. So next step now is to get the decals on, and another glass cut then over the decals. We'll have a look at that, what that looks like once that glass cut then dries in and you know cures. I have to give it a kind of 2 days before I go start weathering and that, and then I'll start the weathering. So oh yeah, I did the detail painting on the 50 cal as well, but I already showed you that, and just in case I didn't, because I can't really remember. There's the 50 cal. Okay, it's not bad, being honest with you. It's not bad at all. But the detail painting is done on it anyway. Okay, that now is just going to get a blue wash just to make it look real. Okay, I don't glass coat it. Don't see the point, and we'll carry on then from there. Okay, so next step, decals, making the tracks look a bit more metal, and we'll come back then. We'll have a look at that stage and discuss what we've got to do then after that. Okay, so now as you can see, I'm after getting the decals on. Decals, transfers, stickers. Okay, so you already know for the weathering section, I'm going to finish the video off at this one, and the next video will just be the weathering. Okay, while we're here, I said I'd show you this. Not many, I don't know whether you've seen the videos on the making of this or not, but this is the other ITALERI Sherman. This is the Fury one. Okay, kind of happy with how that turned out. Okay, I did this some time ago. Really happy with how that came out, I must say. But it's these return rollers here at the top. They're the ones I was talking about earlier, that they're actually mounted very low, and as you can see, even I couldn't really get them on straight or anything else. They were forced into place and everything else, and there was someone afterwards said to me, you should have just kind of taken them off, put a kind of a pin in them and just lower them a millimetre would have been enough to get the track through, but I kind of forced them into place and forced the track in, so that's why one is kind of slightly bent out of shape. But overall it was an enjoyable build. That was the only issue that I did have with it. Everything else was grand. The only other issue I had with the whole kit was the fact that they called it Fury but didn't give you the proper stowage for the film. You know, and my crib at the time was, if they're going to call something, then do it as that something and give all the parts needed for that. Otherwise just call it an Easy 8 and we include the Fury decal if you want to build it up as Fury. Do you know what I mean? But they advertise it as Fury, and you know, little gripe, very little gripe. But as you can see, I kind of copied the film, made a lot of my own stowage out of milliput and things, and I think I kind of got it right for a finish. Used real wood as opposed to the plastic blocks, and even if you use real wood, I do suggest that you actually paint it rather than kind of let it look natural real wood, because it didn't look right in in the actual natural wood. So once I painted it, it looked right. So anyway, that's it. Okay, I'll put that aside again because we're not talking about that. I had it up there and I said I'd kind of show it you. We're on about this one here. Right, we've got our tracks done. We've got the decals on, and it's gloss coated again. I have another gloss coat on that. So now it's kind of time to start getting it weathered. Okay, so like I said, that's it for this video. The next video will be the weathering and all that. So thank you very much for staying tuned to the channel and watching the videos. If you've got this far, I do appreciate it. I really, really do. Thank you very, very, very much. And don't forget to stay tuned to part 3, where we'll be getting it all finished off, weathered and all that. Okay, so until then, stay safe, enjoy your modelling. Don't forget, go out and buy yourself a kit, build it, and enjoy it. It's John signing off. I'll catch you in the next one, lads. Stay safe.